everyone. If anyone has any doubts of who Sujata Parashar is after her changed hairdo, that is I. Okay, my name is Sujata Parashar, and I am the founder of TBC. TBC is a virtual club which believes in promoting meaningful and fun conversations. And I am also going to be your host for this evening. We have three wonderful speakers. I will quickly introduce them, starting with Olga. Olga Schmaidenko joins us from New York. And Olga is a founder of this wonderful club. Not a club, but it's a platform called Wow Woman. And it promotes inspiring stories of women from around the world. She has covered about more than 100 women so far, and I'm fortunate to be one of them. She's featured me on her platform as well. Olga is also an amazing photographer and an avid traveler. She's been traveling throughout the pandemic, in fact. And she was here just before the pandemic, the lockdown happened. She was here in India. So, welcome, Olga. Hi, Ash. We can see you now. So, moving on to Danny. Danny is the co-founder of India-based travel company called Travel Loop. At the moment, Danny is stuck in Paris, but his company, of course, is very much Indian. And he will be throwing some light on how travel will change post COVID. What are the changes that we are going to expect after this pandemic? We have already started seeing some changes. So he will be throwing some more light on that. And then finally, we also, last but not the least, we have Swati. Swati is from Mumbai. She lives in Mumbai and she is the HR director in one of the premium hotels there, president. And she will be talking about the hospitality industry and what changes they are expecting after this pandemic. So, a warm welcome to all three speakers, to my wonderful speakers. And let's dive right into the topic. I will start with Olga. My first question is towards you. Please feel free, Danny and Swati, if you have your own, anything to share, any thoughts or any anecdotes that you can think of. So please, fill in and come into the discussion. I want it to be, we of course, all of us want it to be a very free flowing conversation, and it's not just going to be a Q&A, but a healthy mix of dialogue and a healthy mix of exchanging of views. So that's what the idea is. Olga, my question to you is that you've been traveling throughout the pandemic. You were in India just before the lockdown happened, and then you continued to travel within the US, of course. So, how do you what changes did you see? What were the things that got your attention, and how do you see travel evolving from now on? Some changes are already visible, and there will be some further changes, of course. We are not going to go back to the pre-COVID era. It is going to be only, everything has changed 360 degrees for us. So, what are the things that you see or you think are going to absolutely change for all of us as far as travel is concerned?
Hi everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, as Sujata mentioned, I was traveling in US starting in March, so for the past, most of the year. And what I guess one of the things that surprised me in the pandemic times in US, and I don't know if you guys can relate in India, is just the variety of kind of response to a crisis in the country, because I got to see the various parts of the country and how people responded to restrictions, to wearing masks, to adhering to uh, the kind of goals that we're all trying to achieve to stay safe. So for me, I got to see the Midwest. I also got to see a little bit of the coast, New York City, San Francisco, and how strict they were complying with the mask wearing, with cleaning, washing hands. So I guess for me, what I saw immediately after pandemic with travel was just how virtual everything can be and how immediate some of the solutions we can come up with, how they can happen just like that. For example, everywhere I stayed mainly has been Airbnbs, which means it has been a virtual connection to the owners of the guest houses, of the apartments. I've never met most of the people I've communicated with, so it's been very virtual. It has also been very easy to do that. So I see in the future, I see a lot more connections to virtual trip planners, to kind of keyless situations in Airbnbs. I see the group sizes are obviously what I've seen are very small. The traveling, mainly families are traveling, so maybe less business travel right away. Definitely no conferences, and a lot more. I would say what I've seen is a lot more sports travel. So something outdoors, activities that the travel that's related to hiking, to, you know what I mean, going somewhere just into the kind of secluded area where, there aren't congregation of people. Now, what I also see is, human nature is human nature. So as soon as we get a vaccine, I think the weddings are back, the celebrations of birthdays, the christening, births, funerals as well. But what I see less of is probably traveling related to conferences and to business, communications, because this, what we're doing right now, is so easy now, and I think it's here to stay. So that's just been kind of my general observation.
I think Sujata, can I come here?
That's a very interesting observation, Olga. Yeah, Swati, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I think what I feel is now, moving forward, we need to, even the travelers who are traveling or people, we need to decide. Let's say if we talk about hotel industry, we need to decide that now moving on, the traveling will be more leisure or it will be business related. So if hotel industry, if we try to segment it, I think business related will evaluate slowly. It will not happen immediately because many of the offices or the businesses have moved on virtual meetings, so the travel in terms of the business will eventually evaluate, but not as of now. But even leisure, if you ask me, I think right now the customers or the travelers, they're more looking for the safety measures. And also, if suppose they prefer to travel by airlines and all, they're also seeing that how safe it is and what are the safety measures taken. So maybe they'll prefer more, as Olga had mentioned, that they are looking for more going to places where the family is safe and they do not get into any kind of hang-ups or in terms of COVID. And so therefore they will also prefer traveling by road. That's what I feel. So the destination, which earlier used to be far off places, which will evolve, but it will take some time.
Very important and interesting observations by both Olga and Swati, that travel, as far as corporate travel is concerned, will go down, and perhaps tourism or FIT travel, which we call it, right?
Yeah,
Danny, if you
yeah,
may correct me, right? So that may increase, or tourism may slightly increase, but again, it would be mostly domestic. Now, Danny, I would like to understand, what do you think about all this, and especially in a populous country like India, with all these measures, safety concerns are already there. People are preferring to go to places which are less crowded and all that. So, what is the scenario going to be like for Indian tourism, travel and tourism both? Danny.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everybody. Uh, yes, travel in India is basically not stopped as much as we would have liked it to be, especially families moving on to remote locations like tiger parks, national parks, and there's been a lot of movement there, especially Rajasthan, the distant locations which are like Jaisalmer and uh, Bandhavgarh, one of the tiger reserves. All
Yeah.
of these places have been seeing a storm of people just going there. And there have been a lot of, like Olga earlier suggested, that a lot of BNBs are more operational and they are adhering to the rule of mask and cleanliness and having sanitizers available before the restaurant, before you enter their premises. All these precautions are being taken, and they are not entertaining people without masks. So yes, there has been a big movement. I mean, travel like road trips, like Olga suggested, trekking, hiking, cycling. A lot of that is happening into the wilderness. So all these are taking place big time. Very few, like few metros, like places like Bombay, Goa, and all. They're all heading towards Goa. Goa has been very highly operational as of now,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are also heading for now, after looking beyond domestic travel. A lot of people have been moving to Maldives, Dubai for travel, but to going to these cities, it's being a little, they have a lot of restrictions, and uh, they need to have their COVID test done 72 hours prior to their flights and stuff like that. So people are preferring to go domestically, travel domestically, so that they don't have to go through all these strict regulations of having COVID tests, and they prefer just wearing masks and going to places which are domestic. Road trips, mostly road trips.
So you all of you are agreeing to this fact that mostly travel will be domestic and sports related or outdoor related. Is this going to affect travel, in terms of livelihood, in terms of generating that kind of earning tourism was doing earlier? India as a whole, as a country, is that going to impact India? This
It has
question
already,
is mainly for you and also to Swati, if she can back it up.
Even I have
yeah,
a question. I also have a question.
Right.
all right,
So would you like to answer this and then Payal can go on?
all right.
Payal, then you can
I,
ask your question.
yeah, yes, the tourism industry has been hit very badly, and not only travel, it's correlated to the hotels, the transport, I mean, the taxi services, everything has been hit big time. So the number one travelers surprisingly have been corporates who used to go on their offsites and
Yeah.
R&Rs and everything. That has been hit big time. Weddings has not been stopped. I mean, yes, the big hotels have stopped weddings because congregation of more than a certain number of people in different
Yeah.
states has been stopped.
Right.
So yes, that has been stopped, but travel has been hit big time because internationally you cannot travel. Number one, for tourism purposes, it's only open for business, student, or if you're a resident of the country. The travel has been open in that particular area only. So yes, it has been hit all around. I mean,
Is this trend
not only,
going to continue next year? Danny, do you see this continuing next year or for how long?
see, that is very
Any
hard to say.
estimates? Hmm.
Yes, it's very hard to say when, because every country has its own different lockdown scenario.
Hmm.
The recovery and lockdown scenario, every country is different. Like in India itself, the different states are having different
Yeah.
lockdown scenarios. So they are not, some are having strict regulations, some are having a little bit more relaxed. So it's a mixed bag. So earlier we used to have seasonal travel. Now we are having more recovery status travel. So if that
All
certain area is under lockdown, then
right.
travel becomes a little tough. So it is no
Right.
longer seasonal. It is more depending on the region's recovery period travel. So if
Right.
there's a
I think
lockdown,
Sujat,
obviously travel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Swati.
I think Sujata, it also depends
Sorry.
Here, if a
Right.
person is
Couldn't
coming
hear
to
you there.
Mumbai, apart from staying in the hotel, he had other attractions also that okay, he or she will go and visit the Mumbai city. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sujata,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Continue.
yeah, sorry. So earlier, Yeah. So earlier, apart from, let's say if a person is coming or if a traveler is going to Mumbai, I'm taking Mumbai as a destination. Why? Because I'm based in Mumbai right now. So it is like if you're coming to Mumbai, apart from staying in the hotel, you had other attractions also, that is visiting the other tourism sites. But now if he or she is planning a trip to Mumbai, first they have to see whether is it really safe to travel to Mumbai. So first, now we are deciding based on the destination. So why in India, if you see why most of the people are traveling to Goa, because Goa has been declared as a safe city as of now. So that's the reason why they're saying even if you go to hotels, in hotels, most of the options are still not open. You can go to certain restaurants, but there also you have certain timings. You can't go and dine every time. You have limitations there. Then you cannot use the pool. Like earlier, even if you're going with your family, you had kids, you can go and you can visit the pool. But whereas you cannot do it right now. Or for example, if you're using spa and salon, right now you can just use the salon, but you cannot spa.
Use the spa, yeah.
Right. So now
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the reason why people are going by destinations in India right now. Goa is a preferred destination. Why? Because at least you can go and use the beach.
True. So I just came back from Goa, me and my friends. We had been there, and yes, you are right. Everybody is there. At least from Delhi and from the north, people are flocking, especially the wedding season. So a lot of newlyweds are, in Goa at this moment. That also brings me to Olga, and I would like to ask her how's the scenario in the US at this point in time. Is it the same as what Danny and do you think it's the same as what Danny and Swati shared, or is it slightly different there? And then Payal, you can ask your question once this Olga answers,
Okay, okay, sure,
shares
sure,
her
sure.
thoughts.
Well, sure. In US, I would say it's varied by, as you may have heard, by state. Different states have different level of alert and compliance. We definitely don't have the wedding season on. We don't have anything like that throughout the country. I mean, are people gathering for Christmas? Probably are, but it's just mainly family and within the small pods that they created. What I wanted to add just to Danny's point was the travel domestic is definitely exploded. I think I have met people in Montana or in Oregon that have driven from New York. They rented a car and they have gone across the country because they're able to work remotely. So I don't know if that's happening in India, but in US that has been the case. I am definitely personally affected by the international travel bans. My family's in Canada and I cannot visit my mom easily. I have to quarantine for 14 days. And what I see actually, the more I've been thinking about it, is the countries kind of instituting a rule of testing and maybe showing once vaccines come on board, show the proof of vaccination. I can, if in order to international travel to open, I can see vaccination proofs to be stamped into a passport before you enter the country, before you board the plane. And that's what at least I think Canada is going to be doing. And yeah, but US has been definitely very much varied. Although as you say, wedding season to me might instantly a prickle because that's not happening in US, I would say. And if it does, it's very much undercover and it's in the smaller numbers.
Thank you, Olga. Payal, you can go ahead with your question.
Yes, I want to ask, like what Danny was saying, that people are in India. We'll see rather more of domestic travel, be it by road or airlines or maybe the railways or whatever. What do you think is will affect the pocket of the common people both ways? One who is the customer, like I am, and one those who are at the hotel end. Now, if I wish to travel, for example, after a few months with my daughter and my husband to a place. Um, do you think that to attract the customers, there'll be reduction in the price by the airlines or whatever, or the hotels the food, the conveyance in a place, what do you anticipate, and how as a common person I should anticipate or prepare my trip, that okay, if this particular place would cost this much, and how much will it be? So these kind of things, if you can give us an overview.
Swati, why don't you go first and then maybe Danny can join in?
Yeah, hi, Payal. That's a good question.
Hi,
So
Swati.
see, yeah, hi. So basically, if you ask me about the rates, it all depends how the movement, how we will see the movement's gonna be, because certain things are pre-decided, where we decide our rack rates and we know, okay, this is a proposition for that particular month. Now, for example, if you ask me December, and currently if you ask me that certain person wants to book a hotel now on 30th or 31st or 1st, we do have certain rates, but we will not go down beyond those particular rates. I mean, if you compare today's rates as compared to last year, obviously the rates have gone down because of the current scenario, how the scenario is, and even the hotels are trying to attract more business. The rates might get reduced to certain percentage, but yes, overall, if you ask me, rates will not come down drastically down, because now
Yes.
the business is improving. And if you see, I mean,
Mhm.
what we were maybe 6 months back or 4 months back, and if you ask me now, the business is increasing. Why? The reason is because now the passengers or the travelers, they know that what measures they need to take in terms of their safety, and even they, before they're visiting any hotel, they're also cross checking that, okay, whether this hotel is doing all the safety measures which is required. And once they do that needful, and then based on that, the traveler is visiting or checking in that hotel. So once the hotel is taking all those protocols, and because to do those safety measures, let's say suppose we are giving a certain set of PPE, there's certain cost involved in it, right? So keeping all those factors in mind, I don't think so the rates will drastically go down, but yes, you will see compared to last year, the rates will be reduced.
And when you are suggesting your customers, people who are coming to you, that there are two ways of travel, I can book it directly online, or I can go through somebody who can suggest me something. So will you give those kind of, I mean, some extra kind of information to the customer, that okay, we are booking you in these particular hotels which are adhering to all the norms and all that? So does a normal traveler get any extra benefit of approaching a particular travel agency or something? Because as far as safety is concerned, do I get any kind of a benefit in that sort of?
Benefit you're asking in terms of the rates from that
No,
particular
one
agency?
rates we have known. Now, suppose I want to go to X place and want to book a Y hotel, and I do it directly online because I don't know what the safety measures are being taken in that particular hotel. But if I am going through you per se, I mean, through an agency or
Yeah,
somebody.
company through some agency, yes.
Yes. So is the company, or are they looking into these measures, that okay, when a customer is coming, we look into these aspects, so that I am absolutely convinced, or without tension I can travel, that okay, when such and such agency has booked it for me, they have looked into these parameters also.
Yes, so see, whichever agencies the hotel has tied up, they are being given a brief that okay, these are the measures, these are the measures the hotel is taking. And so then anyone who's coming, and even there's a declaration form which you need to sign before you check in a particular hotel. So even that
Okay.
agent or the agency will brief you on all the safety protocols, that these safety protocols are being taken up in this hotel, and you will also be signing a declaration form, because apart from you coming in the hotel taking those safety protocols, even you as a customer has to take certain protocols. And I'm sorry to
Absolutely.
say, my observation in certain hotels, which I keep seeing, is that in spite of telling, or in spite of putting a lot of posters and all in the hotel, still we find that the customers are not maintaining social distance, they are not even wearing the mask properly. And then what happens, that leads to obviously certain, I mean, we do find certain, at times that there are certain cases which does come up. But then it's just a request which I will request the travelers, that certain things which you need, the certain protocols you need to maintain, even if you are signing a declaration form, because it's also your safety, and in terms your safety, and also the hotel safety wherever you are checking in.
Absolutely, yes.
Danny,
I have a
what is your take
question.
on
Yeah,
this, Danny?
yeah. I would like to have a little input here, because since Payal asked regarding travel companies, if she's going through travel companies, we've already basically, like Swati said, there is a declaration form to be filled in, and we have been given by major hotels a checklist that we have to follow when we bring in clients
Yes.
to them.
Okay.
So we actually go through that checklist, and we also have a kit with us, which we give to each traveler that is traveling to a said destination, to a said location, and to
Okay.
a hotel as well, depending on whether they actually adhere to the rules or they flaunt rules. Like Swati very correctly said, very many people, they wear their mask just below the nose, which beats the purpose. So
Absolutely.
we constantly tell them that it is the nose that has to be covered very majorly. It's not an option to put it down. So we constantly keep repeating these facts that it is the nose that needs to be covered and not uh, below the nose. So yes, we do keep reminding them. We every page of the itinerary has these options. We give them a little sanitizer spray, gloves, masks, and a PP kit if possible, depending on the budget. And no, there has been no not much discounts where hotels or travels or restaurants are depending. Not very big from last year.
I have a
Okay.
question as well, if I can ask.
Yeah, Sampata, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, living in Singapore, like our main destinations to go for short visits is always been Southeast Asia. And I have a question for Olga as well. So, my brother lives in California, and he was supposed to come over to Thailand, and we were supposed to go to Thailand. Phuket was the destination we decided to, come together and meet around March. But given the situation, this was almost 8 months back when we decided, okay, fine, things will go better. Coming New Year, there is new hope per se. So we decided somewhere around March, but I do not know how it is going to be for him living in US. Even me being a part of Southeast Asia, going to a neighboring country, which was like so norm for us, now we have to think 50 times. And although the airlines are actually starting slowly, they do have measures in place in terms of social distancing, number of seat allotted. Of course, it is going to be a bit expensive, but I do not know how it is going to be. What are your views on Southeast Asia travel scenario per se? I'm sure for India also, a lot of Indians, they love to visit Southeast Asia given the cuisine and the tropical climate, right? So what are your views? I would like to ask.
Well, just thinking in terms of flying right now, for me, and I've taken several flights domestically, and flying has actually been really improved. And, safety-wise, I have never felt more safe flying and, more clean and secure than currently being on the plane, so I think that's only going to grow. And in fact, the data has shown that on the plane and long distance plane trips have not contributed to COVID infections. Um, Everyone's adhering to strict rules and everybody's wearing masks. So I feel like that part personally, I am not concerned about, as concerned about. What I am more concerned about is the, as someone mentioned already, checking the destination before you travel and kind of expecting what happens there. Is there a major holiday going on? Will there be a spike? That is something I think about all the time because currently we're thinking about going to South Africa and checking in the news every day, checking what's happening. Now, we're hearing about this extra strain of COVID that's popped up in Africa and in England. So constantly being aware of what's going on in the world, especially in the country you're going to, is gonna be reality, I think, for all of us until vaccine happens, so which is on the horizon, I'm very happy to say, right?
True.
So my question was for Swati and Danny actually about the vaccine. Have you guys heard any, any sort of, do you have any sort of plans that you heard about that are happening as vaccine rolls out? Any sort of plans for, the accommodations, hotels? Are they preparing for something like that? Or is that sort of just on the side and then you wait and see what happens until it's approved.
Hi, Olga. I would first like to answer Sampada's question before I come on to your question, Olga.
Sure.
Number one, Sampada, you were saying that you have a relative in California and you are in Singapore. So I don't know about the status of how your brother in California can travel. I'm not sure about that, but most of the families that are trying to meet up, they are going to Maldives or Dubai. So Maldives seems to be a better place for you, shorter distance and easier because it's open. So you can do that.
Interesting.
You'll have to check with Olga regarding the flight regulations for international travel, whether he can fly or not. But
Right.
You from Singapore will easily be able to go to Maldives, but you will all need to have your COVID test done
Right.
72 hours prior to your flight.
That's a very valuable information indeed.
Yeah,
I'll read more and I'll find out more about it. Thank you so much, Danny.
perfect. You're welcome. You're welcome. And coming on to Olga's question regarding the vaccine for the virus, actually, there's such a long line in a country like India that, and we also been hearing that even in spite of having the vaccine, you still have to adhere to the rules. There's no party zone open yet, so you still have to actually wear your mask, wash your hands, clean surfaces before you touch it, or if you touch it, you have to spray your hands, sanitize your hands once again. So I think this is going to take a little more time to actually hit the ground running before we actually start living life normally. So it's going to take some time.
Or the new normal, the new normally. We are not going
Yeah.
back to that normal,
Yeah, I
are
was
we?
trying not to use that word, that line, the new
I know,
normal,
too much,
but
overused. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Swati, do you have any take on this? We have overshot our time, I think, but we can
Yeah,
take
so
this question at least.
yeah, so what my views would be on this, that in terms of accommodation and hotels, we're not preparing anything for the vaccine, because we'll just go with the flow. I'm talking about in general the hotel industry, but right now, yeah, on priority is the safety measures which each and every hotel is taking utmost care on. And even the staff, if you ask me, they're also being briefed on what all protocols they need to take. And also our customers, a first step right now is whenever the customers check in any hotels, we give them the protocols that these are the safety measures you need to follow when you are in the hotel, or even if when you're moving outside in the city.
Okay,
Yeah, I
thank
agree
you.
with Swati.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Any other questions? We can take one last question. Can we, Nishant? How are we on time this time? I mean, we have overshot.
We are good on time, and Zoom has extended our time. I'm not stopping at 1 hour.
Yes. Okay. So we are good on time still. We can take a couple of questions.
Yes, please.
Can we take a couple of questions, Nishant? Starting 7:25, so it is 8:10 now. So we can take a couple of questions, right?
Yeah, please.
Maybe quick ones. Anyone else? I have another question for all the three speakers. This is a common question to all three of you, which is on technology. Now, we have seen with the pandemic and the lockdown, technology has been used as a key tool to deliver solutions to us. So what is the role of technology? Of course, it is everything is going to be technologically aided, but is this a good change or a bad change? Your thoughts, please. Anyone can take this one first.
Should
And
I go ahead?
when I say good change, bad change, I am also including, will it adversely affect travel? Will it stop some of the travelers from traveling? And of course, about the livelihood as well of people in the travel industry, how will it impact them? So these two considerations also, please keep it in mind when you are answering. Thank you. Swati, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it's a good change. I will not rate it as a bad change, because even the certain travelers who are not using certain set of technology, it will take time for them to develop on those certain things which like the aided tools which they need to learn. And overall, if you see in few, I mean, overall after 2 years or 3 years, it's gonna be bringing a lot of good change. And even in terms of hotels, for example, if you're saying, and since I head the human resources, even in terms of the manpower, if you ask me, that it will be much added advantage to us, where many things will be technology driven, and overall it will help in also lowering down our overall cost of the industry, where many things will be much more at a faster pace. And it will be also contact lens, where today if suppose I need maybe 20 staff, and tomorrow once it's all technology driven and it will be digitalized, I might just need 5 staff. And even the customers, especially in India, if you see, if you are if you are seated in a restaurant, many times we also observe that you look forward for 5 people to come and serve you. But yes, if it will be technology driven, you'll just need 2 or 3 staff in that particular restaurant. So I think it will gonna be a good change. And also we just need to develop our skills, and develop our digital way of thinking and doing I mean involving the processes.
Right. So upskilling is required.
Upskilling is
Technologically,
required, yes.
yeah.
Up,
So everybody must know their whatever, all these apps and everything, must be able to use them easily. But this is about the people who are working. What about people who travel, but they are, in their houses, they are individual travelers and they travel otherwise, but they may not be so good with the technology, good in using technology. So for the from the traveler side, do you see some reduction there in travel, or how? Yeah,
I
Danny has
don't
a
think,
point, but
yeah, please, yeah.
no, Swati, you finish, and then Danny can say
Yeah,
whatever
I
he
don't
has to.
see this as a challenge, because as you rightly said, that they have to upscale the skills, and even these apps will be developed that will be user friendly. I don't think so it will be very difficult to use those apps. It will be user friendly, and even people who have not been using technology will gradually will try and will learn and upskill themselves, and they'll start using those apps, which I feel will be much better, rather than right now when we were not so much into technology driven, many of the apps which we were not using.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
coming
agree.
into, sorry, Swati, have you finished?
Yes, please.
Okay, okay. Coming down to using technology, yes, as soon as the pandemic started, Zoom hit big time in this thing. But even before the pandemic, whenever a large group or a family travel, we try to keep it simple. So we have a WhatsApp group that has everybody linked in it. So your wake up time, your breakfast time, your sightseeing time, your lunch location time, and the address, everything always has been in a WhatsApp group. So it's been pretty simple. So I think that carries forward to what it is now. The only thing is, it does affect human interaction, which also hits on jobs. But the important thing is, when we are taking people, they require to be pampered. So luckily, the jobs have not lessened out, but uh, uh, the
The nature of job has changed. You
the
think you?
concentration to keep cleanliness has been increased quite a lot,
Yes, yeah, of
and
course.
use of sanitizers, masks, especially masks, gloves for people serving and stuff, that has all increased. But manpower has been very much where it was. Only thing is, everybody comes with a mask. All people serving, taking care of for any human interaction, have masks, uh, gloves, and a cap if they're serving food, like chefs and all that. Earlier, they used to just have hats. I mean, that has been my uh, view on this so far. And when we take people, like guides are obviously necessary, um, especially for places like when you go into tiger reserves or national parks or something, you have to have a driver and a guide.
Yes.
So the guides obviously will not wear gloves, just masks, and that's how it goes. So it's still You just have to sanitize yourself after you get on the gypsy or the jeep or get off, get on. You have to do that yourself. So yeah, there has been a lot more cleanliness, and I agree with Swati. Cleanliness has been paramount in this uh, time.
Hmm.
So it's been good in a way. This has come as a blessing to India, no? We have started focusing on health, hygiene,
Yeah.
sanitation, immunity, and everything. So in that sense, it's really, really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Any
good.
other
It's
questions?
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
Any other questions?
Sorry, had the international travel not been stopped, it would have been superb. Had the
Yeah.
hotels not have closed down due to a lot of people entering, crowd restrictions, it would have been excellent. But unfortunately, that is there. So only domestic travel is open, and that to a small bed and breakfast, like Olga had earlier stated, are
Right.
open to business. And we've also been concentrating on giving bed and breakfasts, like people who business owners, more
Right.
opportunity to get back on their feet to work, so
Right.
that they do not sink. Uh, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
one
think,
question.
oh, I just wanted to add really quickly that personally, I'm excited about what new technologies will come up. As you mentioned, Sujata, with the restaurants, one of the things that just amazed me is how evolved things happen in New York, for example. Every restaurant, you know, scanning the menu is now a norm, and that's something I thought, why hasn't this happened earlier? It's such a
Yeah.
it's such a convenient thing. I think
Yeah.
convenience will stay, you know, is here to stay, but I'm also excited to see where and how things will be more convenient. But I do still think that interactions with people happen because we all crave it. We all need that in our lives. So in hospitality, I do think that there still will be that more personalized one-on-one conversations with travelers. I think that may still happen, but the other things that, you know, can be the corners that we can cut to make our lives easier are here to stay. And, you know, companies will just have to figure out how to evolve and come up with new ideas. So I
Yeah.
think that's been definitely a positive.
True.
Right.
And maybe
Thank
not
you so
only
much.
coming and
Yeah.
maybe not only coming with new ideas, Danny and Swati, do you think that since travel and the whole concept of travel is changing and it will change in the near times because of the pandemic and whether the vaccine is coming in a year or two, do both of you, at least in our country, do you see there is an influx of more entrepreneurs, travel entrepreneurs coming up with different ideas to allure the customers with, you know, customized trips? Maybe more and more parts of the country is being discovered. The places where normal people we haven't been, be it a trek or beaches or something. More and more exploration probably on part of the travel things. I think it might happen, and this might give rise to a lot of other entrepreneurs who will venture into travel. Do you think any something of that sort?
Yeah, I think you're right. This will happen, and even certain hotels. I'm talking about the branded hotels. They will also come up and opening hotels in certain destinations, which maybe they would have not thought about it earlier, and now they're thinking that it's a good time to open there, and even people would like to travel in such remote areas, such
Mhm.
places. Because now, if you see, the people have become more conscious for their health, and they're also looking for destinations where they can go and even relax themselves. Because if suppose work from home will stay for at least 1 year or 6 months more, then even if they're staying in Bombay or they are going and doing the same work from Rishikesh, I think that's a better destination because that's also will give them the work-life balance. So I think yes, that will definitely happen. And now I think we should start looking at the new way of life, not even in terms of technology, but also certain aspects we should focus upon, which we were not focusing earlier, which
Yeah.
is on yourself and yeah.
A friend of mine did exactly the same. She told her office that she is going to work from home, but she actually took, she just went to Uttarakhand and she got herself installed there with her everything, all her gadgets and everything. And she's been working from there for a while. And the office still thinks that she is in Delhi and working from Delhi, but she's been having a good time and fresh air. And
Mhm.
Uttarakhand is north of India for you, Olga. It's a beautiful place, and quite the nature is beautiful there. So, and also slightly more cold than Delhi. So this friend of mine did just that, and I think a lot of people are doing it. I've heard
Yes.
so many others doing the same thing. They are getting out of Delhi and they are working from remote locations, and that's a good thing. Why not? You
True.
have the time and you are doing the work anyway. Yeah, Danny.
Yeah, Payal, one more thing.
Um,
Your question was, what are the hotels or travel people doing regarding the luring more travelers? One major thing that people have done is they've allowed pets, uh, uh,
okay.
like accepting pets, so that, and if you take a 10-day package, it's cheaper than, I'm talking about the small, this thing, hotel, resorts in places like Uttarakhand, like Sujata just said, which is Olga, the foothills of the Himalayas. So obviously it'll be colder. And yeah, that's what they're doing. So they're trying to bring in the earlier restrictions. They've lowered it down quite a lot. Like they're allowing pets. They have nature walks with your pet and stuff like that. If you have dogs, if it's cats, then it just
Mhm.
stays at home. They have scratchers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it goes.
That is good. That is good.
Okay, I think we have. I think we have covered our time slot, which was given to us, or we may have about a few minutes more. So before it shuts off on its own, I want to end this conversation here. Although it's quite engaging, and I can go on and on. I have some other questions, but I think we will just stop here for now, and we can go back to. If you have any further questions, anyone, you can just put it in the TBC group, and one of them will answer. I can also invite Olga into the group temporarily, and if Olga, if you find it interesting, you can stay on. You're more than welcome to stay on in the group, right? So thank you so much. This was quite interesting and very engaging, and I am sure a lot of people who haven't watched this would be very keen to watch this video, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube and then share it on social media as well. But I will require a bit of editing that will take some time. We'll share this with you all also once all the three speakers there. I will share this with you all also so that you can also share it with your friends and family. Okay. On that note, very happy New Year to all of you in advance.
Yeah.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wish you the same.